mother, I have to ask you this, did she travel extensively around Ireland?
Travel.
Travel.
Everyone travelled.
A lot.
Did she ever visit the Cork area?
Because here are the two of you now. There you are. And I just want...
It's so weird.
Did your mother ever mention meeting a slightly confused, hair gel-loving, bright shirt-wearing person about 18 years ago?
Was it you?
Who in the morning promised to make toast and never came back? Because I give you this.
Nice.
My babies. They're my babies. My children. And Paul, you know everyone, because you're good friends with Saoirse.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You must have met before you worked together in
We
Foe.
met...
Well, you
tell us.
and Jack... But,
you know, go ahead.
I'll interrupt and then Paul goes, you just tell it then.
Yeah.
No, well, you and my husband became like bromance buddies online.
Yeah,
when
Jack sent
normal
me a
people-
very nice message when Normal People came out, and I fangirled over Jack, and then we met at a party,
Yeah.
worked together, played husband and wife,
Yeah.
and now
We're best pals.
best pals.
Yeah,
And we're
that's lovely.
neighbours.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
neighbours in Cork.
Yeah.
Well, like you're ever there. And Saoirse, just your first one was when you were 13.
That's
so
insane.
bonkers.
13.
And again, Mom was your date.
Mum was there. Mum's been at all of them. She can't get enough. She loves it. She went and there I am.
Oh my God!
In a nice green dress.
No, goes that for that's Halloween. That's
Come
Halloween.
on, Ireland.
You're wearing a green dress.
Doing it.
You should
doing
have
us
a
awful
medal.
proud.
I didn't have a choice. That was me in my green dress. And Mum came with me and she was so excited. All she wanted to do was meet John Travolta.
Did she?
Yeah, she met John Travolta. She'd been to see Saturday Night Fever 27 times.
That's wow.
In the cinema. 27 times. So all she wanted, she didn't care whether I won or lost. She's the one that's put this mindset in my head. She's like, you're gonna lose. I think it was Tilda Swinton that was gonna win that year. And she's like, you're not gonna win. But I am gonna meet John Travolta. While we were on the red carpet, I think I was doing an interview for like E! Or something like that. And I was you're so unaware of everything when you're that age. And apparently behind me, Mum was stood there and George Clooney went by and he stopped to talk to someone and he was stood on her dress. And the whole way through the interview, Mum's just going, excuse me. And she gets like progressively more aggressive and she's like, can you get off the dress? So that's all everyone talked about afterwards.
Now, usually when I, introduce the couch, I say, do you all know each other? But now, Jamie, you and I, bit gooseberry, because this is, I think, the first time we've ever had this, that you guys, you dated at one point.
Yeah. Helen and I?
Yes.
Oh, yes, darling. Yes.
We didn't date, we lived together.
We lived together,
wow.
Yeah,
4 years.
We were a serious item for a while, yeah.
But I remember Kieran Hines and myself, we did this film Excalibur together.
Yeah.
1980.
Our first movie for all of us, really,
That was
wasn't
it,
it?
really.
We were so green and ignorant about filmmaking.
But I remember being out of the set. This was Ardmore Studios.
Oh, yeah.
Dublin. And Helen had a break. She was filming, but she was in costume. And we were there just visiting. We hadn't started work yet. And the first AD or the second AD said, would you like to meet Helen Mirren? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. So she walked from like 100 yards away, dressed as Morgana Le Fay. And Kieran's my oldest friend, and we both went, So I was smitten. I think Kieran was smitten too. I was
I
certainly
never
smitten.
knew that. You've never told me that before. That's amazing.
Oh!
I've never told me that before.
Yeah, very good. And now, both from Northern Ireland, do you live really close to each other, or are you from near...
This is the first I've met Jamie tonight.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But you're Ballymena,
Yes.
and you're Hollywood.
Hollywood, yeah.
With one L.
With one L, yeah.
Yeah, that's Hollywood. Yeah, not the... Yeah.
And I'm Ballymena with 2 L's.
Yeah.
I should know this,
And
but
Helen's been there too.
Oh, to Ballymena?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, to Liam's house that he grew up in with 5 sisters?
3.
3 sisters. Yeah. It's funny, I remember that that's not... in this tiny little house, you know, and these 3 sisters and Liam, all 6'4" of him, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing, wonderful, wonderful experience.
But the Northern Irish accent, it was just voted the sexiest accent in the world. The Northern Irish accent.
That's because of these 2 guys.
Actually, it probably is, to be fair.
No,
But
that's not right.
It couldn't be right.
yeah, but as sexy as it is, I know that Jamie, your daughter mocks you for something you.
She does, yeah. Yeah, she's sort of mocking me. Really pleased about that. Just turned 4 and she's already mocking my accent. I remember thinking it'd be nice if she says the odd word in an Irish accent, but actually well, there's a book that we read her every night called Bedtime Bear. And it goes around, there's all these different animals that come out of places. There's a bison in a basin, and then there's an owl in a towel. My daughter is sort of like quite sort of posh in English, and she's like an owl in a towel. and then we go say it like Daddy, and she's amazing what she does. She goes, an owl in a towel. Genius like that.
You know, I was once on the train with Liam, travelling from Dublin to Belfast. And amazing thing was that he knew everybody on the train. I think it's a bit of an Irish thing, you know.
I'd say it is.
But it was like, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, how are you doing? How's your mum? You know, oh, I saw your auntie, like, you know, 3 months ago. Literally every person on the train he knew. So I think this...
Because, Jamie, you have a thing, when you go back to Northern Ireland, you think people are coming up to talk to you.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they want to talk about my dad. Yeah, my dad's an obstetrician, gynecologist from home, and he's delivered over 6,000 babies in Northern Ireland, which is a tiny place. So,
almost every woman knows him.
Almost every woman knows him. So yeah, I'll be in a pub or something, and someone will come up and I go, oh, "This will be nice, like Fan of the Fall or something." And then they'll be like, "Can I just say that your dad delivered me?" Is that it? Is that it? Anything else? No, that's it.
Listen, we wondered how our audience would fare if they had a go. Now, I think you'll agree they look pretty street, pretty fly, pretty down with the kids.
There's a flower on it.
Oh, yeah. So, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just using words. They've had a go. We sent them a little task during the week, so they've had a go at writing some raps. And I've got some here. Now, I've got a little mini cam thing now. So, where is it Hannah Bresling? Hannah Bresling? Where's Hannah?
Hannah.
There's Hannah. Hannah calls herself MC Spud. Or are you Scottish and that's Muck Spud? I don't know.
MC Spud.
MC Spud. Oh, are you Irish?
I am indeed.
She's Irish.
Irish.
Now, here's an Irish rap. E-V-E-R-Y, body looking at me. I'm a little Irish leprechaun. What you get is what you see. Don't have much money or a lot of time, and I've never been good with busting a rhyme. Sent using BlackBerry from our... Not bad. Nah, that's not bad.
But now, also, Chris, it's quite nice that we sat beside Dawn, because then it's like being at home sitting on the sofa.
With the hair and everything. I mean...
It is the same, because, yes.
Well, I think I had the hair first, I have to say. I'm quite a lot older than his Dawn.
Dawn O'Porter, your wife.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, that's her there now.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
It is
And
the
then
same hair.
now look at us. Quite similar.
It is very similar.
This is what you're going to be looking at in another 20 years' time. Oh. This is it.
I'll be on wife 3 by then.
She feels so special.
But Dawn might move on because... other Dawn.
Yeah.
Because she likes meeting men, it seems, even in your presence, Chris.
No. Oh, yeah, she does.
She does.
She does. Well, like anybody would. We've had a couple of things where... So, we met Brad Pitt, right?
See?
At the BAFTAs, I think it was. He came over and he was... we were having a chat about something or other. And He was very nice, and I introduced him to Dawn, and they shook hands, and then we kind of kept on talking, and then he started talking to somebody else or whatever. And then after a while, I looked down, and I realised that she was still holding 2 of his fingers. And I was like, we better go to our seats. And she's like, OK. And she said, 41 seconds. I said, what? That's how long I held him for. And then a couple of weeks after that, we went for some other kind of awards dinner, and Bradley Cooper was there. Very nice guy, very kind of personable. Yeah, it's a Who. That's how attractive he is. And we were leaving, and she was getting her phone out of her bag, and I noticed something sparkling in it. And I realised that she had stolen his fork. Now, she said that she was going to auction it for charity or something. But every now and again at home, I see her eating with it. It's hard to feel like a sex symbol when your wife is using another man's cutlery.
Let's start with Kenneth Branagh's love letter to his childhood hometown. This is Belfast. It's in cinemas now. And this is... it's sort of the story of you as a 9-year-old boy in Belfast.
Yeah.
What prompted you to tell this story now?
Well, you know, I don't know how your lockdown was at the beginning. I had so many friends who got in contact, who hadn't seen for a while, who were so desperate to, you know, make contact, and I was calling them, and just everything was about just sort of re-establishing human connection. We really felt the separation, and so it reminded me, it sent me right back to the time when I was 9 years old in North Belfast, in a wee street, mainly Protestant, but Catholics were there as well, where in the course of, I suppose, 20 seconds, when I thought I was hearing bees in the air, and then I thought I was seeing a swarm of bees, realising that, in fact, I was at the beginning of a riot which would pass through my street, and those 20 seconds would be really mark the sort of end of my childhood. When I came out of the house 2 hours later, the paving stones were lifted up from the the ground beneath our feet was gone. The paving stones were in barricades at either end of the street, and we were in a fortress. What had been a sort of playground before. It was a beautiful, harmonious neighbourhood, not an idyll, but a home for sure. And you know, suddenly life was different, and the uncertainty that we've all felt, all this sense of being in the unknown, and therefore our need for human contact, and our need for laughter, and our need for songs and dancing and ad hoc parties and all the daftness that we could possibly grasp at a dark time when we didn't know what was going on. That's where this lockdown sent me back to, and I tried to write it as truthfully as I could.
And your mother, brilliant, played by Katrina Balfe in the film, and Judi Dench's in it, Kieran Hines, Jim Dornan. But we must mention Jude Hill.
Yes.
So how old was he when you started filming?
10 years old. He got the part out of 300 boys who sent in self-tapes. He did about half a dozen Zoom auditions. He eventually improvised in a final audition with me and Lewis McCaskey, who played his brother in it. And he's amazing. He's a natural. He's got this great capacity to listen. He's funny. He loves football, for sure. Big Liverpool supporter. Very difficult to get him. He's supposed to be a Tottenham Hotspur supporter in the film. And we have one scene where he simply has to say, "Is there nothing this Tottenham right half cannot do?" And we got to rehearse the scene, and I said, "You've just stopped there, Jude. Is there a problem?" He said, "Yeah, I can't say that." I said, "No, what, no, but he's a Tottenham." He said, "I can't say that." I said, "Why?" He said, "I'm a Liverpool supporter." I know you're a Liverpool supporter, but you're an actor. And he says he's a Tottenham supporter, and you've got to pretend. I can't go there, Ken. Don't ask me to go there. Said, "OK, well, maybe don't do it in the rehearsals, but do it in the take." "OK, let me think about it." And then we did one take, and we got it. And he said, "Is there nothing this Tottenham Hotspur right half cannot do?" I said, "Great, that's terrific. Can we do one more?" He said, "I think you've got what you need." So never take a boy away from his football team.
Brendan O'Carroll, Mrs. Brown, back on Saturday nights, all round to Mrs. Brown's. It's one of those shows, it looks like a hoot and a holler to make.
It is,
but is it fun to make?
Yeah, no, it literally is mayhem. And then they edit it together and make a show out of it. From the very first time we did the pilot, the only thing I was sure of, I wanted one of the guests to bring their mother on. so that would kind of validate, with Cathy Brown doing the talk show, it would validate they have their mother with them and then the mothers can go away and chat. But other than that, we had a very loose framework. And music-wise, at the end, you know, I didn't want it to be... I'm sure Harry's going to be amazing tonight, but you're going to say, ladies and gentlemen, Harry Styles, and he's going to sing. And I didn't want it to be like that. I wanted it... No, let's get him in first and chat to him and try and... So what I did was I decided any guest that's coming on to sing musically has to sing one of Mrs. Brown's favourite songs. So, you know, it has to be a Tony Bennett or, you know, Frank Sinatra, and they've got to do a bit of that. So James Blunt was the first one to come in, and he was great. And he started singing, I think it was Moon River, wider than a man. And, of course, that would, you know, turn Mrs. Brown on. Her nipples were...
You're so method.
I'm so method. So as he's singing, I leaned into him like that. And he kissed me. And I mean, he put his tongue down my throat. And Jenny, my wife, who's plays my daughter, is there going, oh, my God. And she said, you must have been really embarrassed. I said, actually, it was really nice. I'm going to get James to teach her some tricks. He's a lovely kisser, James.
But the thing about nuns, though, is well, Sharon, can you watch Call the Midwife, or does it like bring back kind of terrible memories of school?
Oh yeah, I mean, I am a fan of nuns. Honest, my auntie's a nun, and
Okay.
she's a great person. But the nuns I was taught, I went to a convent school, so the nuns I was taught. I mean, the head nun was. I mean,
A fiend,
oh
was she?
My God, she was about 6'2" as well. I mean, she was enormous. And she had a twitch and a squint on the same side of her face. And she was full, like, old school hellfire and brimstone. We all had to bring our Bibles to assembly, morning and afternoon, take them out. It was always the Old Testament. Which is
well,
where
it is
the nice
best.
stories are.
The Old Testament is best. You know that.
But yeah,
one.
she was just incredibly strict and.
Did she hit you?
No, she picked on me once for... you weren't allowed to walk on the back of your slippers. It was just one of the rules, because it looked sort of slovenly.
Oh, yes.
And also I drew a face on a diagram of a uterus in biology. But those two things combined, when we were in assembly, she called me out. She didn't say my name, but she talked about a girl, you know, who had done these certain things and said I was the spawn of the devil and a child of Satan. And I remembered, like, I remember feeling...
She was
like,
overacting,
God.
I think.
Imelda May has an album. April the 23rd, I believe?
Yes.
Yes, April 23rd. And that is the current single. Thank you so much for that. I think your voice gets better and better.
Thank you.
That was
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how nervous I was. I felt like I you know, I haven't done it in so long, and I've been mostly in my pyjamas and leggings for a year. And to now have an audience of 5, 4 of you, and it was just, I was so thrilled and excited. I can't thank you enough for having me on.
Oh, listen, we're thrilled to have you. That was gorgeous. But here's the thing, we were talking about lockdown and some of the difficulties of lockdown and relationships, and I know you want to clear up something, an unfortunate headline. It is your own fault, but... So tell us what happened.
There was a headline came out with my boyfriend welcomed me back from... I went to Ireland, I did all my COVID tests and isolation, but I hadn't seen my mum and dad in a long time. And I bawled my way back on the airplane, as you do. And so he thought he'd make me laugh. He's a joker. And he put the sign up and he was trying to think what would make her laugh. And he just put on it, my girlfriend, who was fit.
I think we've got that picture. We've got that picture. There he is.
Which made me laugh. And then the papers got hold of it because I put it online joking, saying how sweet is he for doing this. And they put it online, but they put a photograph of me in front that looks like he's behind me and he looks like he's a stalker. And then I did an interview and they said, they were chatting to me and I said, oh yeah, he came to the house and, you know, he stayed said he'd stay for lockdown. I said, we didn't expect lockdown to last for a year.
as you didn't. But the headline was, "This is my new boyfriend. I didn't expect it to last a year."
Yeah, we've got that. There you are. We didn't expect it to last a year, but here we are. Melody on Finding Love in lockdown. Did you have to do some explaining?
He keeps slagging me off for it now, you know. Not bad for over a year, you know. And all that.
When people are starting out, I mean, they, finding their way into acting, they try lots of different things along the way. Now, Aidan, your first love was the dance, I believe.
How did you know?
I'm from Ireland. I mean...
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a secret. I used to be a ballroom dancer, for years.
No, not just a ballroom dancer. You represented your country.
I did, yeah.
In what style did you do?
Well, ballroom, so be waltz, tango, quick step.
Oh, you did them all?
I did all of them, yeah. And
wow.
American as well. Cha-cha, rumba, jive.
I got to see some moves, baby.
Well, I don't know if we can see...
No, that's for you.
We can see this. I don't know how old Aidan is. This, you're not moving. This is just a picture. Now, earlier I thought you looked the same, but you don't really.
Ah, yes, look at that.
There you are. And, I mean, those are some plucked eyebrows there. Those are...
They're never plucked. There's a lot of L-neck going on in the hair and fake tan, but the eyebrows are all me.
Look how serious you are.
It's a tango. It's a very serious dance.
Yes.
Oh, God. I'd be...
Your teens?
15, 16 or something.
Oh, so sweet.
Why did you give it up?
Why did I give it up? I don't know. I should have stuck at it, actually, shouldn't I? I don't know. I mean, you have to be very good to go pro, and it's too much discipline and all that.
Yeah, learning lines is easy.
Yeah, it's easy. Just before, we'll have a story in the red chair. Yes. Hello.
Hiya.
What's your name?
My name's Aileen.
Aileen?
Yep.
And I'm guessing you're from Ireland.
I am. I'm from Derry.
Oh, you're from Derry, up to the north of the country. OK. And do you live there or here?
Study here. I live over there.
Oh, right. What are you studying?
Costume design. Costume interpretation.
OK. There will be subtitles on Friday. I know right now only I can understand it. Everybody else can understand it too, but yeah, but
Okay.
I know.
I can't.
No. So far, you're not missing anything.
I've never heard of costume interpretation before.
It's like costume design, isn't it?
Except fancier.
Fancier. It's fancier, Frank. Oh yeah.
All the lever.
OK, off you go.
Right. So lead up to Christmas, I was back home. And how did you...
Exact face.
I'll go
Did you get any of it? Christmas.
Something about Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas. That's the only good detail so far. Just pick out words, you'll follow the story. Say, blah, 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 Christmas, blah, 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 home.
Run into the shop and I had to get milk and bread. So I literally was really stressed. So I was like, run out, get the groceries, let's go. Told my boyfriend to do a lap and just pick me up, no need to park the car. So as planned, I came out, perfectly timing. Silver people carrier just casually drifts by, casual speed. So without hesitation, I sprint across with my groceries, jump in the back of the car, screaming, and thump in the back of the chair, shouting, "Go, go, 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 go!" But taking in mind it was Christmas and I had like a scarf up here, and I thought, which was my boyfriend, turned out to be this middle-aged, like 60-year-old woman, screaming, "Jesus!" and pushed her foot on the accelerator and then pushed her in the lamppost.
Sorry. You walk. Well done. Very good.
Apparently, the Potters were having a problem with you.
Look, I love it so much. As an actor, you always have your in-between gig, and I call this the best in-between job ever. It's the best job ever. I adore it. And I don't feel, and then people would agree, like a presenter in it. I feel like a viewer. So I just get far too excited. But anyway, the upshot is that they have to distract me and keep me occupied. So they literally developed like pottery daycare for me.
Well, they really did. We've got a picture of you in your pottery daycare.
Yeah, I mean, I'm infantilized a lot there. I love it. They feed me, they dress me. It's the whole thing.
Now, James Norton, are you a pottery fan?
I went to a pottery class. You know, one of those ones where you like can do a bowl and bring a bottle of wine. And I went with my partner, and everyone else was having like just getting drunk and making dicks. And I was real goody and made a really beautiful bowl. And didn't really quite. Well, I mean, I thought it was beautiful. It was probably a piece of shit. But I didn't really get the idea. It was meant to be a party pottery thing. And
Okay,
it was like,
yeah. Because Sophie, you do like pottery.
Oh, yeah, but I can't do it. I just like buying it.
Okay.
She likes mugs.
I like... No, I do like a mug, actually.
Yeah, it's a lovely mug.
Yeah. I mean, I whenever I'm somewhere new, I tend to try and find a little cup.
Nice.
So I have lots of little cups in my...
But now, here's the weird thing. Jamie Dornan, you do know about pottery.
Oh, everything, yeah.
No, but you have potted.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Yes, that is what it's called. From the verb to pot.
I've done a wee bit of it. Oh, yeah, like twice. Yeah, I've done. Yeah.
But in America, oddly.
In LA, of all places, yeah. Back in the day, when I was living with Eddie Redmayne at the time. This is 15 years ago now. And we went and potted.
And now you didn't remember Eddie Redmayne found this picture of you doing pottery.
I texted him today because I knew you were bringing it up. So I said, mate, do you have anything of that time? He found one picture, which I imagine you're gonna.
Yeah, this is you. This is you. Now here's the thing.
I've got a couple of things to say.
Okay. So do I. We all do.
Let me kick it off. I was going for an unforgivable hat phase in my mid-20s, and at one point landed on like Oktoberfest Bavarian. Whatever the fuck that is. It's terrible. I look like I've been caught not doing pottery, but wearing that hat. I think. You know, I look miserable. I was having fun.
Sophie, apparently that's a theme.
Yeah.
Sophie, what do you want to say about this?
Well, I was just thinking, it's not really like a pottery place, is it? It's more like...
Give me a break.
Well, no, it's like one of those places where they have them all in white and you just pick something and you paint it, like with children.
Well, I did say it was called Paint-A-Pot. I didn't... Do you want to know something really embarrassing about that period of my life? I was in New York.
We can see that.
We do.
I was in New York around that time, probably a couple of years before, 2006, let's say. And a friend of mine who's a movie producer had this her kid's birthday party, and her kid was turning 13, and they had like, you know, like Upper East Side, like well-to-do, whatever. James organised it. Yeah. And she said, look, Taylor would love it if you just popped in, whatever. It's fancy dress, but do not feel the need. I was like, yeah, grand, whatever, I'll pop in. A load of 13-year-olds. I went by myself, all these 13-year-old kids, all in really elaborate, fancy dress. I got talking to these two young kids. One was dressed as like Dracula, and one was dressed as something else. And I was talking to them for a bit, and they went... it was my hat face, so I was wearing like a trilby or something. And the guy went to me, oh, cool, Justin Timberlake, cool. And I was like, I'm not. I'm not actually in fancy dress like that. I'm actually going to meet my mates for pints. And that was genuinely the last time I ever, apart from that time.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name?
My name's Padraig.
Padraig?
Yes.
I think I know where you're from.
I'm from Ireland.
What part of Ireland are you from?
I'm from Kilkenny.
Kilkenny?
Yes.
I used to live in Kilkenny.
Oh, nice one.
Not really. Cut that out. I'm going to Ireland tomorrow. How long have you been here, Padraig?
Oh, I'm here like 12 hours.
Oh, I see.
arrived this morning.
Okay. Fresh off the plane or the boat. Have you moved here 12 hours ago?
No, I just came for the show.
Oh, okay. You're just here for the... Are you here for the weekend?
No, come back tomorrow.
Oh. You know what's on telly?
I know.
All right, Padraig, off you go with your story.
Okay, so about 4 years ago, we went on a hiking trip in school. I was about 16 at the time. And then we had to hike about 25k, and we were all sharing rooms anyway, and we went back to the hostel after hiking about 15.
I'll just stop you for a minute. Jamie Lee Curtis is looking at you like you're ringing a bell.
I heard it's all good.
It's all good.
Keep going.
Okay. So you're on your 25k hike.
Yeah, and we were told at 6 p.m. after dinner that we had to meet at the reception, and the teachers and everyone would go on the hike. And anyway, I was sharing a room with Kevin, and Kevin was having these pains in his chest, and he kept like holding his chest and breathing in and out really heavily. And we all thought Kevin was faking it to get out of the hike. And like I was kind of like, yeah, it's a good point. I'd play that card, but whatever. And anyway, we just left Kevin and went down to reception. And about 50 minutes later, an ambulance pulls up outside. And a paramedic comes in and gets Kevin and loads him into the back of the ambulance. Turns out Kevin was having a minor heart attack, and the 8 of us in the room did not give a shit about it.
Very quickly before I flip you, is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He just
good. That's all. Yeah. You are performing Nothing Compares to You,
Yeah.
but what I know, I love that song. Yeah, I know. It's one of the things you forget how much you love it, but I heard you rehearsing this afternoon, and it just brings you back to where you were. What was you that you'd?
Who you broke up with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just weren't with at all. And what makes the performance tonight different?
Well, it's acoustic. It's just myself and 2 friends of mine playing it. One guy played piano and an acoustic guitar, and myself playing guitar. So it's not it's not like the record.
With all the strings and all.
Yeah.
All right. Does it still have the I went to the doctor, went to the doctor, went to the doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's my favourite. Listen, I'm really looking forward to hearing it. And we were talking about the video of Nothing Compares to You, and the crying in that video. I mean, because it's been copied since, that kind of style, but at the time it was really new. Just that locked off shot of just you and your face singing. Oh, look. Oh, do. She's crying. So can you cry on demand?
Well, no. You see, we had a whole other plan for the video. It was never planned that was going to be the video. That was just going to be one, take, and they were going to edit in a whole lot of other stuff. But just the song made me cry. I was thinking about something, and the song made me cry. The song would make you cry, and that's why people like it, I think.
And could you cry on demand as an actress, or do you have to kind of...
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask you to do it now.
It's a bit cry when I hear this song, I know I am.
Oh. But do you have other songs that make you cry?
No, just this one.
Very good answer.
Very good answer.
Where did you shoot? It was so beautiful.
Oh, so beautiful, so stunning. Inishmore, in the Aran Islands off Galway, and then in Achill Island, which is a little bit up. And there was a combination of the two, and we stayed there on the island, 750 people, 3 weeks, and so we'd be, meeting each other on the road on a day off. Hey, Brendan.
Hey, Brendan.
So it merged into it. Yeah.
But there were tourists there.
Yeah, there was. On any given day during the summer, there could be 2,000 tourists coming in on boats and planes and cycling around, renting the bicycles and horses.
He had an interesting kind of a.
Shut up.
They have horse-drawn, carts that they kind of carry tourists around and stuff. And Colin, as he likes to do, went out for a jog. Yeah, I'd let you tell it.
Oh, carry on. No, I was just going for... And it was a warm summer's day, and I had my shirt off and jogging in my little runner shorts with slit up here. Gotcha. Only a couple of inches, moving along. And, anyway, one day there was a horse and cart, and there was 6 people on the back of it, and all of a sudden I noticed that they were only keeping 10 feet ahead of me with all their cell phones up on the video. So I stopped and pretend to have a bit of a stretch and touch my toes and that, and they'd stop, and then I go... So I'd start running again, and then they'd take off again. So for about an hour, we kept about 10 feet apart, and then I thought, feck this, I see a hill coming. There's no way the horse can get up that hill as fast as I can run. Well, we were neck and neck for about half a mile. And just before we got to the centre of town on Inishmore, the horse took it. The horse took it.
I should have sold my movie this hard.
No, but
jeez.
But here's the thing, Elizabeth, you've been living in Ireland.
I did. I lived in Ireland for 7 months last year. Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Last summer. I lived in Dalkey.
Oh, lovely.
Which they say is the Amalfi Coast of Ireland, and I can tell you from being in the Amalfi Coast, that is not correct.
That's not
It's the Amalfi Coast of Ireland.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Should have gone over to Hoth. It's over
I
the
did go
opposite
down
side.
the Hoth a lot.
that's where he is.
Yeah. Lovely. Yeah.
And actually, lots of Irish connections, because, Edward, you're a big fan of Ireland.
Oh, my God, we used to love Ireland. I had a group of friends in the 90s, and we would literally go partying in Ireland every 2 weeks.
Where, into Dublin?
Front lounge, back lounge, the George.
Oh, yeah.
O'Connell Street,
Oh,
Lily's
man.
Bordello.
Oh, yeah.
I was the king of Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
They love me, man.
Are you sure you haven't been there before?
Yeah. We went I had a friend called Miss Panty.
Miss Panty, yeah, I know Miss
Who was
Panty,
on
yeah.
the club.
Panty Bliss.
Panty Bliss. I used to work with Panty Bliss in Elephant Castle. But Panty, yeah, was waiter there, and I was busboy. Yeah, yeah.
He hasn't changed a bit.
By the way.
He's amazing.
And that is how big Ireland
It
is.
takes me back, all the accents.
Yeah.
I only remember the kitchen.
The kitchen, that's right, yeah, yeah. And Ree-Rob was around the corner from the kitchen, the Clarence Hotel.
Yeah,
Yes.
Clarence and Morrison.
Yes.
The Globe.
Yeah.
It was a mistake to have this many Irish people on the show. Who's up next? Hello. What's your name?
John.
John. And where are you from, John?
Ireland.
He is from the island of Ireland.
I've heard it.
Whereabouts?
The West.
The West. Okay. And where do you still live there or you live here now?
No, I live
What
here.
I don't get is, like, on a night like tonight, when there's 3 Irishmen here, he's like, you won't understand it if I tell you where I am.
Okay, off you go with your story.
Okay, so this...
Is it John? Is it John?
It's John, yeah.
John. It's John from the West.
Hey, Sean!
John West. I thought it was something. Okay.
Okay, so this happened about 20 years ago when I was about 10 years old at the time. So my parents were heading out for the evening, so they called up Jenny, who was our babysitter at the time, to look after myself and my sister and my 2 brothers. But Jenny was busy, she told them, but she said that our younger brother could babysit instead. Now, my mum wasn't too keen on this idea because her brother was only like 13 or 14 at the time. But she eventually agreed when Jenny insisted that he was a really sensible, very mature young man. That turned out to be a complete lie. So as soon as my parents left, we destroyed the house. And they came home early that evening, and my mum walked into the kitchen and then stood there in a stunned silence as she looked around and saw the curtains had been ripped off the wall. There was smashed glasses and plates. There was paint splattered on the floor. My brother had a bloody nose. I had clumps of hair missing because I tried to give myself a haircut. And she stood there for what seemed like an age until she finally turned to the babysitter and she said, "You were in real trouble, Chris O'Dowd, when I tell your mother about this."
Is it really you? Is it really you?
As it was going on, as it kept progressing, I was like, I don't like the sound. We've all been through a lot.
Is that really you?
All right, John.
Dog a walk, surely.
Gotta walk.
Yeah, gotta walk, gotta walk. I don't want to cause a fight, but I think most people, when they, see you two, we think of it sort of as Bono's band. I've said it.
Not the band.
No, but it's not. It's Larry's band.
True. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when did he take over?
You're presuming he has.
Oh, he has.
Well, about 5 minutes after I thought I'd taken over.
So really, immediately?
Yeah, we had our first rehearsal in my kitchen, and sort of everybody arrived. There was Adam, Edge's brother, the McCormick brothers arrived. Yes, and there were a couple of people there, and then Bono arrived late. And it was just obvious within a few minutes that he was not going to be carrying amps, he was not going to be playing guitars, he wasn't going to be messing with technology. He was just going to be in charge, and I was fired.
That's actually not true. The only job they give the singer is if you can't do anything else. I couldn't play. It's one of those. So they said, be a manager, and Adam said, no, I think I could be the manager. So I got to be the singer. And but there's 4 bosses in U2, and we all share everything and have done. We still have the same crew. Joe Hurley, who mixed the sound out now here tonight, he mixed us from our 6th gig. So it's a community of people that our music has come out of, and stretches right down to Cork.
Sure now.
That's a long way from where you're sitting. But not a long way from there.
And the glasses and the hat, they weren't at the beginning. They came along as time went on.
As time, yeah. When you become a professional outfit, you need sort of the accoutrements of...
You started going to sunny places. You had money.
Exactly. We have a whole committee.
No, but the sunglasses, you didn't wear sunglasses. I mean, when you found them, you were like, I love sunglasses. Do you ever take them off?
You know the big I got earlier? You know the one when I did the whole thing, the heartbreak thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
This is a good place to explain to people.
Is something terrible wrong with you?
Yes.
Is it fatal?
A lot of people might make a lot of people happy. No, I have glaucoma for the last 20 years.
Okay. Can I say it didn't get a great R, did it? You were like, oh, that's why I put sunglasses.
No, but seriously, Graham, you have no idea how this has messed with my life. And you know, the thing about glaucoma is, you know, I have perfect, like 20/20 vision, so I would go to do these eye tests, and people say, but I said, I don't really need one, because I've got perfect, I could read the bottom line, and they said, oh, that's one of the signs of a, well, you wouldn't have it. Have you ever had sort of strange visions and, you know, steam coming into the room and, you know, rings around lights? I went, oh, yeah. And they said, and it's not from anything exotic.
I hear
you know, there's no...
I just think they're cool. And I think Bono looks cool in them.
Do you have just big boxes and boxes and boxes of sunglasses at home?
People give you them, as I think you
Well, I do
know.
have a lot of them.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I have a lot. Because I just thought maybe the other band members would like to try sunglasses. These ones, who would look... I think these would look good on Larry. Larry, try those on. I think they... Look, they match your outfit and everything. These are quite clever, these sunglasses. No, put it down, put it down. Oh, hey! Looking good. Oh, my goodness. Good for you. They've got guitars on them. They've got guitars on them.
I think this is a bit Dave Mesner, isn't it?
These are quite cool for the edge. Look, they light up.
Yes.
Yes. And because you're Bono in the band, do you want to try a big one? Try a big one. Rock and roll. You look like the fly. Jessie Buckley, you're a dancer.
When I'm drunk, I am. I'm excellent.
No, you dancing was your first love.
What are you talking about, Graham?
You know, we've got this little clip of you. I think are you 4 or 5 in this?
Yeah. Well, everybody does Irish dancing in Ireland.
But not as well as you.
Not as well as me.
And not with the same level of dedication. Watch this, Monty. I think you'll be very impressed. Yeah. Because I don't mean to be rude, you slightly lose the crowd. But my God, Jessie Buckley is going to keep going. OK, here she is, dancing up a storm. Look at her there, there she is. Lovely, lovely. Now, let's just see how the rest of the family are enjoying it. Now, someone thinks she needs more room. The girl needs more room. That's what we need. Move that sofa. Here we go. Yeah, more room. Look at her, still going. Still going. Well done, you.
Very good. Is it actually true that in Ireland, like, everyone does Irish dancing at some point?
Well, you do it in school. You don't do it at home.
Over there, you just call Irish dancing dancing.
It's such a serious sport, like the kind of socks and the big, huge dresses and these little girls with these massive wigs, and it's, like, amazing, but it's kind of mad.
It's quite intense.
Yeah.
It's quite intense.
Saoirse, we need to talk about the Derry Girls, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, of course. I love to talk about Derry.
What a show. Talk me through the audition process, because it wasn't straightforward, was it?
Sure, nothing ever is, Claudia.
No, right.
No, it wasn't straightforward. It was sort of like what I imagine X Factor to be like. It was like the closest thing I can imagine to auditioning for a girl band.
Yeah.
We were sort of like tallied in and out of rooms over like different rounds to get the perfect chemistry. But before it even went to the audition process, I was doing a job doing door-to-door sales in Manchester, and I'd been fired from the door-to-door sales job because I didn't make any sales. I told them it was a pyramid scheme. It didn't go well for me. So I was crying in a Greggs. Do you know what Greggs is?
No.
It's just like a sausage roll place. They do other things, but I make my sausage roll.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
You've got to get one.
Do you know what a sausage roll is? Yeah. It's sausage and pastry. Sounds like a sex move.
Yeah.
Everything's a sex move if you've got a good imagination.
It is, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm away from home.
So I'm Anna
sausage roll,
Griggs,
please.
and just been fired from the job, which was a pretty humiliating situation to be in. And I got this email through asking me to audition for the show called Dear Years, and I honestly thought it was a documentary and read it and rang my mum. I was like, it's amazing, but was really upset that I'd been fired. And then I'm on the phone crying to my mum, and then this Irish builder walks on and he's like, are you looking for a job, love? And I'm like, I am looking for a job. And he's like, what happened? I was like, I was just fired. And he's like, come down to this building site. So he walks me down to this building site. Well, first of all, he said, what's your name? And I told him it was Saoirse. And what's your second name? I told him it was Jackson. And then he came back in and he was like, is your dad called Sean? And I was like, yeah. Is your granddad called Jim? And I was like, yeah. He was like, do you want to come to a building site? And I was like, no bother.
Nice.
So I took her down to the building site with him, and he put me on a salary, and then I worked with him for a month, and it was great. And I was a wee snagger.
What were you doing?
Just telling people everything they'd done wrong. I was brilliant at it.
Snagger. And Donald, you know, you've been in all these big franchises, like you've been in Harry Potter, Star Wars, you've been in movies like The Revenant, but apparently when you go back to Ireland, people only want to talk to you about one thing.
Yeah, it's a kind of a funny one. When I was in my 20s, I did like a sketch show in Ireland called Your Bad Self for the national public, like the broadcaster there, RTE. And I wrote sketches with my friend Michael, and we did the sketches, and that's kind of what we did.
Sketches?
Yeah, but there was this one sketch that I did that really stuck around. Like, nobody watched the show, it felt like, at the time. But this one sketch just seems to do the rounds. And people stop me about it all the time in really awful ways. But the sketch was basically, it's a guy with all his friends in a car, and they're going to a concert, and he's drank too much lemonade. He's like, you need to pull over, and he's going to the toilet, will you please pull over? And they're saying, just go in a bottle, you can just go in a bottle. And he's like, no, and I say, OK, fine. So I say fine, and then I do a poo in a bottle. So it turns out he needed to do it. It turns out he needed to do a poo. And so...
It's a good sketch.
It's a good sketch. In Ireland, like, people stop me about that all the time. And it's so weird. You're on a night out, and you hear, like, hey, Donald! And you turn around, and it's a woman, weird, and she's got, like, a bottle of Heineken. She's like, look, I don't want to... It's like... It's really... And I'm like, I was in The Revenant, God damn it! Yeah.
I think, is this a clip for... This is... Don't worry, it's not your food.
Yeah.
It's a nonchalant laugh on the face. It's like, you guys have a problem? Like,
Yeah. I love it. He thought it was cool.
Is there anyone in Ireland who hasn't seen those medals? they look like being round the block, those medals.
They're fairly tattered, yeah.
And, of course, now, Michael, down in Killarney, word must have reached you of the O'Donovan brothers.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I wasn't in Killarney at the time, but everybody knew about it. That's for sure, yeah.
And, Marion, watching that clip, could you understand the accents?
Nothing, not a word. I understood since. Just that word. I was like...
What the movie says with Michael with his thick Kerry accent.
So listen, because the people loved the interviews you did during the Olympics, but like you guys knew you were being funny while you were doing the interviews.
I don't know.
I think it was funny because they were being themselves.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, we weren't trying to be serious, like, but
yeah.
it just, yeah.
You did
just kind of happened that way, like.
You did seem very happy to be in Rio.
I was quite serious about the whole situation, though. Everything we told us the truth, like.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, like, people ask us these questions all the time after races. It just so happened they put a camera in front of us in Rio.
And also, you won a silver medal, so suddenly everyone was interested.
Yeah.
But the great thing is, this is like Ireland has never won any medal in rowing before, have they?
Well, not at the Olympics. No, they have a few World Championship titles, all right, but it's the first Olympic medal, yeah.
Woohoo! Very good. And the interview where you talked about your approach to the race, the phrases you used in that. So explain to the people what you said in that. Do you know the one about going A to B fast as you can?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tis a fairly simple sport, like. There's a start line and a finish line. And you walk on
quite complicated here, like.
People do complicate it, like. And your man says go at the start and there's a hooter at the finish, and if you can get from go to the hooter, then...
Go bull like.
And And then this thing about closing your eyes and pull like a dog.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that phrase, who came up with that?
That was Paul.
That was my, yeah.
But pull like a dog, is that a phrase?
No. No, apparently, yeah.
Because it's everywhere now in Ireland.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, like you'd be walking down the street there in Dublin or somewhere and a fella showed across the road, you're like, pull like a dog.
Pull like a dog, yeah.
The best ever.
Someone else heard it.
Lads would be encouraging inside a nightclub. Close your eyes and pull like a dog.
Have you ever had a member of your desired sex tell you to pull like a dog?
The questions are getting harder now. But wasn't there a guy came up to you in a...
That's right, some fella came up to Paul inside in a nightclub in Skibbereen, like, and he had...
Oh, tattoo, yeah, like, right, proper, like, ink tattoo, like, crosses full forearm saying pull like a dog. Yeah. I was like, that was nuts, like, so,
Yeah. He
fair
may live
play
to
him,
regret
like.
that.
Probably away there at home.
Marion, it's just as well. It's just as well. You're missing nothing. So now, we've got a picture of you. This is the day you came back to Skibbereen.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, an amazing event. Yeah. Because if you haven't been to Skibbereen, a lot of people won't have been to Skibbereen, you know, it's not a big town. How many people live
There's a small little town. The population is about 1,500 people, and they're saying there was about 15,000 turned up to the homecomings. The town wasn't crazy, like, yeah.
And presumably, you're never going to have to buy a drink again.
It depends, like.
I know, you would.
You know, at home, we're the same two fellas, like, down in Skibbereen, and they'd have no respect for anything down there, like. The silver medal is nothing, so... God almighty. Yeah, no, yeah, we get charged away in Skibbereen anyway, that's no problem.
And I suppose, because, you know, sport is a lot of discipline, a lot of training, and now that there's kind of all the kind of the fun side of things, the, you know, travelling around, you know, people recognise you, moving up to your nightclubs.
The Graham Norton show, that kind of stuff.
Exactly, look at you now. And so is it going to be harder to kind of get back in the boat?
No, it's the same. It's like you just put the boat down in the water and sit in.
Hosier. Hosier. I'll get good at that. Listen, congratulations. What an amazing 2014 you had.
It was crazy, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Well, no, because you were just sat in Bray in Ireland, and then suddenly I heard the song, a friend of mine sent it to me, and I thought, oh, that might come here. It didn't come here, it went to America.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. A lot of it was completely unexpected, I think. So this time last year was very, very different. My schedule was very, very different.
a more free time. You know, lots of opportunities come with the sort of success you had last year. And one of the opportunities you had was to perform at the Victoria's Secret's fashion show.
Yeah.
Now, look at him here, trying to focus on his music. You're so, like, not even pretending. You're just like...
I think, to be fair...
To be fair, why wouldn't you?
I'd never done a fashion show, but certainly in that fashion show as well. I mean, I'm used to, you know, holding onto a guitar and stuff and having something to do with my hands. So it was very... And it's like small audiences. Sorry, no, but in this... The models... Sorry.
And a guitar could have been very handy in that moment.
This going on here.
I'm digging a hole here.
And now, I feel for you, Aisling, because you have done that. You're now facing your second lockdown birthday.
Yes, Graham, I am. So obviously it's been more difficult for me than anyone else.
Of course, yes.
I'm going into my second pandemic birthday.
Yeah.
We're a small group of people.
Yeah.
And we're tough people. My first one, I was in Ireland just as Ireland went into lockdown, and my birthday is the day before St. Patrick's Day. So I went back to get absolutely hammered for St. Patrick's Day with a few of my friends, one of whom his birthday is St. Patrick's Day. And we were like, do you think a cough is going to stop us going on the laugh and having a little drink? And then, like, Ireland's in lockdown. We're like, it turns out it is. It turns out it's really plans. And so I spent the weekend with my mother instead. So I feel like this is a really high-profile way of telling everyone that it's March the 16th. And that's my birthday, so there's no excuse just in case.
Okay.
You know?
Have you made plans this time?
Yeah, I'm going on Graham Norton, and everyone's going to surprise me with a present at the end.
Yeah, that's right. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, so series 2, is there anything you can tell us about it? Could you tease us what's happening in season 2?
Well, we only finished on Monday, so we only finished shooting the show on Monday, so I can't really tell you anything, just in case we forgot to press record. And I know we forgot to press record. Oh, no. But when we were filming it, actually, it was really... It was, like, really intense filming during lockdown and the pandemic for a million reasons. I'm not sure if you guys have shot anything, but it's fairly intense. And you're sort of going home and trying to unwind. So I watched loads of Line of Duty. So that was it's not comedy, it's so the opposite to do. And I watched all 5 series in about 5 weeks, to the point where I started talking like Adrian Dunbar the whole time. I was like, mother of God, we're going to have to catch him now. Like, as a swan leaves the mist in the middle of the night, I've seen a bent copper in my time. Like, I just started talking, and I would see people behave suspiciously and go, he's done something. He's onto something now. We have to follow him. And then one day we were shooting a scene, and the camera was really far down the street, getting us sort of walking up towards it. And it was just a scene where myself and another actor were just walking up, and a car pulled in behind us, and they obviously had to light where I was. So there was a guy across the road really heavily lighting me, and lights coming from down there. But the camera, you couldn't tell we were making a TV show. And I was like, oh, are you going to be here for very long, to your man in the car? And he was like, no. I was like, OK. And so we were kind of like, right, we'll wait till he leaves then. And then it was sort of a bit of time was passing, and, you know, we were nearing the end of the day, and our first assistant director, Vidal, comes down and kind of said to the guy, he's from New Zealand, and he was like, sorry, mate, are you going to be here long? Just because we're shooting a show. And he was like, OK. And he sort of politely walked up the street. And then we were kind of twiddling our thumbs, thinking, will we go for a take? And then behind me, I could see the guy who was lighting us from the side, Ryan, kind of go, oh, like this. A man came and did a drug deal right behind, like literally there, beautifully lit, like stunning lighting on him. Kind of did a drug deal through the window in the car, and then sort of clocked what was happening, saw the camera, and you could see both of their faces go, huh? And he drove off past the camera into a close-up of himself, and off we go. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. If the police want to come, fine. But my joke was always through drama school, like, oh no, maybe I'll just end up like in reconstructions of crimes on Crime Watch or those Crime Line shows, and I'll have to be someone who goes into a shop pretending to be in the middle of a crime. But I'm in my own crime drama in the middle of it, and I felt like Adrian Dunbar going, we got him, lads. We got him on tape. We had it all set up as if we were making a comedy drama for Channel 4, and now here we are. So we have like footage of a crime, if anyone
It's going to be the most beautiful episode of Crime Watch.
Oh my God, it'll be so stunningly, and
all the other
performance
reconstructions will be like, this is rubbish.
And then it ends with a couple of jokes from me.
Yeah.
Crime, fine. Yeah.
But Bryce, what's your connection to Ireland? Are the Howards something to do with Ireland?
I mean, like, I don't know if you can tell. I might have some connection to Ireland genetically. But my dad shot Far and Away there when I was 10 years old. Oh. And we lived in Dingle, Ireland. And there was a dolphin, a wild dolphin. Fungi the dolphin. And I got to swim with Fungi the dolphin, as many people who
in Ireland
go there.
What?
A wild dolphin. And when we were shooting Jurassic, the first Jurassic, I was thinking about Fungi the dolphin, and I looked it up, and he was still alive.
They say that. There's a dolphin called Fungi. Yeah. They all kind of look alike. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. He remembers you. Look. Yeah. But you posted a picture of yourself in Dingle when you were a little girl, and honestly, it looks like an ad from Board Fulcher or something. Look at that!
Oh my God.
Did Ron Did he steal you from a family in Ireland? Like, is there other people watching now going, there she is?
I mean, this was our backyard in
Wow.
Dingle, and this was, I think it was a one-bedroom house, and my parents stayed in kind of like the kitchen / living room area, and myself and my 3 siblings, we all shared a bed, and there were sheep outside the window and rolling hills, and it was all very idyllic.
That does not smell of Hollywood glamour to me. Anyone could say like that. That's terrible.
But when it's a novelty, it's glamorous.
Yes, right. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And there was a dolphin involved. So,
Yes.
How bad could it be? James Nesbitt, fabulous actor, but I think it's fair to say that music was your first love.
Well, it was. No, I sang a lot as a child. We were from quite a musical family.
And you were in musicals?
I was in musicals. I mean, the first job I did was I played the Artful Dodger.
People talk of it still.
Yeah. Well, people say I'm still playing exactly the same role. I played the Artful Dodger when I was 13.
And then did telly come calling immediately?
Well, my friends, as a result, wrote to Gloria Hunniford. Do you remember Gloria?
Of course.
Gloria Hunniford, and Gloria used to do was the doyen of kind of news and magazine kind of television programmes. She was the Graham Norton of her day.
She's the Gloria Hunniford of now.
And she is. I mean, she's a fantastic woman.
Yeah.
And my friends had written to her about, unbeknownst to me, saying that they wanted to set up an Ulster Youth Theatre. And she did a live a magazine show every night. And so I knew nothing about this. I was playing rugby, actually, in Coleraine at school one day. I was dragged off the pitch. I was thrown into a car by this director and my mates. We were taken up to Belfast, went live on a show in our costumes from Oliver that we put on in the car on the way up. And at the end of we did a bit of a chat with Gloria about setting up an Ulster Youth Theatre. We were 13. And at the end of it, Gloria said, well, we've got a bit of time, so the boys are going to sing us out with There's No Business Like Show Business, which is not a song from Oliver. So we stood behind Gloria, and she went, take it away. And the other two couldn't sing to save their lives. We went, there's no business like show business, like no business I know. And so this terrible, awkward silence, and Gloria just went, oh, well, at least they're all full of spunk. Now, when you're 13, spunk means one thing. And so I burst out laughing. Meanwhile, my mother and father were in Coleraine, waiting for me to come home from rugby for my tea, so it was quite a rude awakening to my TV career.
Well, now, annoyingly, we don't have the clip of Gloria talking about your spunk, but we do have another clip. How old are you in this clip? Do you know the one? You know the one I mean.
Oh, all that jazz.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Oh, no, I'm 13 or 14 in this.
It's...
Oh, I can't.
This is...
Beautiful. No, this is... So, 14-year-old... What are you going to say?
My children love this. My children, when Mary and Peggy, often, if I've said something to annoy them or whatever, they'll just send me a still from this, or they'll send the video of this. So, and they'll say, how did you ever have children?
Oh, no.
Wow. This is 14-year-old Jimmy Nesbitt performing All That Jazz.
Oh, God.
Oh, babe, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz, rouge your knees and roll your stockings down. And all that jazz, start the car and know a whoopee spot where the gin is cold but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy pub where there's a nightly brawl and all that jazz.
What a voice.
I don't remember being that camp, actually.
Because your accent is so, good in Derry Girls, but you're not from Northern Ireland.
Yeah, you can feel the palpable sense of disappointment when people meet me. And I go, oh, you're not Claire? And I go, no, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I'm just a faker.
Where are you from?
From Galway, West Coast, yeah.
I mean,
Galway
so
girl.
far away.
Still Irish.
So many hours.
Jennifer's fine ear is going, it sounds the same to me.
Sounds Irish to me.
I'm shocked about how old they all are. Because I met your mate with a dark O once.
Jamie Lee.
Jamie Lee, yes.
Yes.
She came up to me once and I think I spoke to her like a child. I said, hello, how are you then?
Well,
how old are you then? She went, I'm 33.
And now your accent there is great. And Derry Girls, I mean, there's a whole range of accents. Yours is really good.
Oh, thank you.
Would you say there's a whole range of accent in
Well, there
Derry
are quite a
girls?
few Derry accents in
Yeah.
Derry girls, I would say. Yeah. But now, do you have a trick to get into it, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was preparing, I didn't know a Derry accent first off, and then I thought, who do I know? And then I thought, oh, Nadine from Girls Aloud is extremely Derry. And then, I don't know if people will know this, but there was an extremely controversial incident in the early noughties in Ireland.
So good!
It was so good. So I feel like it was the first Irish sort of pop culture TV moment. It was Pop Stars, the Irish version, which only had about 50 entrants because we don't have as big a population. So she went on and lied about her age. But she got found out on camera.
Stop it.
Yes.
No.
Oh, no, YouTube it. It's so good!
Lean forward.
Wow.
This is the trick.
How old was she? And how old was she?
Okay, so she'd gotten into the band, and then her on-camera interview, like the first one to introduce yourself, who you are, she said, "My name's Nadine Coyle from Larkill and Derry, date of birth 15th of 6th, 85, Mechamia, Germany." And then she thinks for a second and goes, "What date of birth did I say? No, 15th of the 6th." And then it fades. And she's outed herself on camera. But everyone lost the plot.
Do the phone call to her mother.
Do everything. Mommy,
do the whole thing.
Has Daddy put my passport in the car? Mommy, will you look at my handbag for my passport? And it was all a lie. She knew.
How old was she?
She was 16. She was meant to be 18.
What is it about you lot pretending you're different ages?
Just cool, isn't it?
Cute, because she wanted to make it through.
That's fine. But then she got in Girls Aloud. It actually worked out much better.
You
for
see?
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything
and
happens for
we
a
ended
reason.
up with an amazing moment of her sobbing in the back of a Renault Espace being driven away.
I also did that whole thing in my audition, and it was very awkward because...
Well, you did it as a speech.
Yeah, but they didn't want me to. It's not like they said, would you mind doing your pre-prepared Nadine Coyle speech? I just sort of started speaking, and they sort of were looking at me, and I thought, well, this could really go either way. You know, it's all the executives from Channel 4 and the director and the writer, and I just started doing it. But I got the job, it's all fine.
Woohoo!
Yes!
Very good. Ireland looks so gorgeous.
Yeah, it kind of becomes a character, doesn't it? I mean, to be honest, that was a wee bit of a worry for us, and I think a big part of the success of the first series was like the Australian Outback just added so much drama just by proxy of what it looks like, you know, and you're offering up something like couldn't be more sort of visually different. But actually, it ends up being nice because you're often like, God, you over-egg the pudding here, given another series or whatever. But like, it feels different in a way because it's in such a different landscape. So, you know, same. Hopefully, care enough about the characters to stay on board. But it definitely feels like a different show.
And whereabouts are you in Ireland?
We're mostly in Wicklow. Yeah,
wow.
And we went west to Achill Island in County Mayo, where I know Imelda's family originally from. For a couple of days during it sounds like something isn't right here, but a heat wave in Ireland. And I was doing more running around, obviously, sprinting through the hills in the heat.
Wow. So do you know Achill Island, Imelda?
I visited there as a kid, yeah. We used to go home, as we call it.
There we go.
Every summer when I was a kid, yeah. And because my mum played fiddle and accordion, and so there were a few nights. And what was lovely, I suppose, just that, you know, even as kids, we would sit and listen to the grown-ups tell hilarious stories, you know what I mean? It wasn't like the kids were in bed. Everyone was out having the most sort of communal time. It was heaven.
Because where were you living here?
I was living in London, yeah.
So what? It must have been like going to the moon.
Well, wouldn't it be ridiculous?
Achill Island has very little relation to London.
Oh, well, yeah, true. But I mean, listen, as a kid, you're just out playing all day anyway. You're out in the countryside anyway, so... the two, Ballivary and Bahola, my parents were from.
Where did they meet, though? There or here?
They met in Ireland and then came over. I mean, you know, in the 50s, a lot of Irish came over here. I'm a child of immigrants and very proud of that. And, you know, that was... there was a lot of Irish it came over to London in the 50s. Yeah.
And this movie, it is about families, and I think everyone will get a lot out of it. But I've heard you saying, Andrew, that you feel like a gay audience will get just that bit extra from the story.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's just that idea. A lot of gay people just there's kind of coming out stories within it, and I think it's just about just how to love and love with courage, and what we'd like to be able to say to our parents, and what we'd imagine we'd like our parents to say to us in that situation, and how kind of nuanced that situation is. And so it's been embraced by so. It's just come out in America. I've just spent the past couple of weeks in America, and Americans are brilliant because they're so enthusiastic and so vocal about about telling you how enthusiastic. And people have been coming up and crying on the streets and...
That sounds borderline annoying.
Absolutely crazy. No, it's really nice to get it all out. So I really hope people... Because it's a very strange film to talk about, because it sounds nuts, but to...
And it is nuts.
It is nuts, but then life is nuts. And I think to see the film is to love the film. I really do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're very proud of it. And we had to do an awful lot of... kind of intimate.
You did.
We did,
You did.
Stuff in the scene, but it's really very tasteful.
Yes. Well, it's also, you know, it will sell tickets. And but no, I think it's interesting because you're on set and you're actors and the crew, everyone's there, and you know the job is done. But then people are sitting in rows watching this, like your families are watching this. Have your families seen it yet?
The Irish premiere, trying to allocate tickets to aunties and uncles is like...
I'm just thinking the same thing.
It's tricky business.
Yeah.
But they must have all seen your bum, Paul.
They've seen it many times. In many different contexts. On many different scales of screen, but... There's a little bit more going on with this, I would say. And I'll say no more on that.
I don't want to be there when my parents watch it.
No. Okay.
So don't make me, Graham.
There'll be a reaction video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And Andrew, Paul, obviously you're both Irish, but Paul, was it your decision not to be Irish in this film?
It was a conversation that I had with Andrew. Director Andrew Haig.
I decide what accent falls to.
Yes. Andrew spoke to me and he was like, I really think that...
I'd like to be the only Irish person.
In Gladiator, I've made him be German.
German, yeah. Hot take.
That's right, give that away.
And did you just pick Leeds because it was one you could do, or...?
Bit of both.
Okay.
I also just like that sound.
Okay.
And it's kind of intuitive. It's like when you try on clothes that you like. Sometimes it's hard to articulate why it fits, and then you're just like, this makes sense, and
The last One Direction concert, that was about a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, around the
so,
same.
by my reckoning, that's kind of a year off.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of Judge Rinder. What are you like? What are you doing?
I'm definitely not watching Judge Rinder anyway. At the start of the year, the plan was to go backpacking.
Lovely.
So I did it. So me and two of my cousins we met. One of my cousins was living in Melbourne in Australia, and he was actually moving back home. So we just said, right, we'll meet in Australia and then we'll work our way back across. So we went up through, went to Bali first. Rained for 4 days, no good. Nearly got my wallet robbed by a monkey, so that wasn't great. Then went up to Philippines, did a couple of islands in the Philippines. Went across to Vietnam, Cambodia. Did all the temples and stuff.
It sounds amazing. But now, is this the trip where you had a very strict budget?
Yeah, well, yeah. We just wanted to do it properly because, all my friends got to do it, but I was travelling the world in a different way.
Yeah.
So I just thought, it's only fair I get to do it.
So you were staying in youth hostels and things?
Yeah.
Now, were your cousins really
not
pissed
really
off?
hostels, you'd be surprised.
Your cousins must be thinking, he's a multi-millionaire, and I'm sleeping in a bunk.
Yeah, they probably were, but they would never say it to me. No, we just thought, it wasn't really hostels. We went to the hostels when we were going drinking, because they're always good crack.
All right.
But, you'd be surprised what 20 quid gets you.
I don't want to know. Mind you, it's good you were travelling when you did.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, fair play. Putting a budget on yourself when you're a thing. That's pretty good.
But did you not break it sometimes? Did you not kind of think...
Oh, yeah. After about a month, we got to Hanoi in Vietnam.
And you bought the city? I own Hanoi now. Yeah. I cracked. I just love the place. I just loved it.
Yeah, we were just like, well, we'll just get a hotel. A nice one this time.
OK, so you own a hotel in Hanoi.
Yeah.
OK, great.
A couple of them.
It's like Monopoly. Yeah. Do you get back to Ireland much? Do you cause a huge sensation when you go back? Is it Mullingar?
Yeah, Mullingar, yeah.
Yeah.
Go home a couple of times a year. It gets my dad still lives in the same spot. So it gets kind of hectic around the house.
Do girls live in holes in the garden and things?
Yeah, I remember, yeah, under the wall. I remember Robbie Williams once said something to me. He was like, my mum closed the curtains in '92 and never opened them again. I get it. So yeah, but yeah, like it's good. I get to go home and go see the lads and stuff like that, and see the family, and it's I like that side of it. But yeah, it's miss Ireland. Obviously, would like to go there a lot more. But
and do people do they look out for you, kind of going, oh, he's changed, or is it all that? Do you have to be incredibly careful when you go home?
Sometimes, like you'd be in there and you'd be like, there's kind of like the backpacking thing there. You'd be buying like a pint, be buying a pint for 2 or 3 of the lads, and then the barman would be going, oh, someone's doing all right, and he's doing good. It's like, it's only a few pints. I don't know if it makes any difference. But yeah, like sometimes if I'm walking home, right, I'll walk home if I'm home around Christmas, and there's no taxis, and I'll start walking home, and then the police will drive past me and pick me up and bring me home. I remember when they used to do that for a different reason. But yeah, they do that, which is quite funny.
Because they catch you out when you go home, don't they, Chris?
Well, I mean, there is, like Niall said, there's this odd thing where people want to catch out a little bit. Like, you'll go even for breakfast somewhere or for lunch. And I remember I was actually home this weekend, and we went out for, some eggs and stuff somewhere. And, and I was like, oh, yeah, and I'll have some orange juice. And they're like, oh. Oh, Mr. L.A. with his orange juice. And it's regardless of what, like, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. It's like, I'll have, like, an Americano or something. Oh. Like, before I left, I used to just bathe in my own There's this kind of overcompensation. there is a little bit of that, but it's inundated with the kind of the other side of it, which is really kind of lovely, right?
Yeah. And now, Amy Adams, I think because of the red hair, people assume you must be, must have Irish blood.
I think I've got some Irish blood in me, yeah.
Because I must say, we found this picture.
I can vouch for that.
Wow, because of that. It was going so well.
Well, you know what? What's weird about it, it's not even like I have Irish in me. It sounds like I gave her like a blood transfusion. And I actually am a blood donor, so...
You never know. But no, we found a picture of you, and rarely has a woman looked more Irish than Amy. Look at that.
It's such a flattering picture. There you go.
Is that in your caravan?
That's my 3 sisters. That's my 3 sisters right there.
There it is, folks. Yeah, that's such a flattering picture.
Well, it's not there. Stop looking at it, it'll go away.